So my friends, welcome to another altcoin update video. Today we are looking at ICP or Internet Computer, which has been requested very often because many people were invested, as the price expectations were of course significantly different. Nevertheless, it must be said that we actually had a stable rally here with one or two relatively large pumps, which have now all been sold off again. We are currently in a very strong support zone. This is buying zone 1, which ranges from $5.50 down to $4.50. We are right in the middle of it at the moment. The second one is a bit lower. We will definitely address that now. We will definitely look at how the further development could be in today's update video. So make sure to stay tuned until the end. Before we start, feel free to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, feel free to join the free Telegram talk and signal groups. If you're interested in updates, news, and signals, feel free to join. You can find the links to these in the video description below, of course, for free. And if you want to buy Internet Computer, or if you're looking for an exchange where you can also trade traditionally in the markets, you can do so with my partner exchange Binx. The link for that is also in the video description below, supporting the channel or me in the process. So ICP is currently at just under $5. As I said, we had a massive sell-off of 80% from our, let's say, midterm top, which we had up here at around $21. It's still about 76% now, so it's really intense how the altcoins have completely dropped. Bitcoin is back at 95,000 US dollars, and the altcoins are not really following suit yet. My explanation for this remains that there is simply a lack of liquidity or fresh money for the market, which would naturally also boost the altcoins. And we are at a massive resistance with Bitcoin, which needs to be overcome first before we can talk about whether we might see another sell-off. But ICP, as mentioned, is performing very weakly. In terms of volume, there's also not much in the market. The RSI isn't giving us any clear signals either. But the trend is your friend until the end. This always holds true. And this trend is clearly downward. Even though we have temporarily broken this trend line upwards on a 4-hour basis, it still doesn't look really strong. We are still in a downtrend. In my opinion, this trend will only be truly broken if we take out this high here at around $6.40 on a 4-hour view. If we manage to do that, we have significantly more opportunities, I would say, to break upwards. What still bothers me a bit about the whole situation on a daily view is that we still have a wick lying around at about $4.20. And if we then turn on the vector candles, we have another one at approximately $4.76. The idea now would be that we might go down again in this area. That means in this area from $4.90 to approximately $4.76. If this area holds, we still have, I would say, this yellow downtrend line to test. If we hold here, we also have the chance to at least consider a small long position here. Otherwise, I would keep my hands off here. As I already mentioned, in terms of buying zones, this is currently the first major buying zone. The second one is significantly lower and is actually down here at $3.40, because we also have an inefficiency here that is somewhat older, specifically from October 24th, 23. That's also where our all-time low is currently. This means we are not yet, or rather we are already in the bear market area, because that was also the buying zone back in May 2022, even down to when we had the breakout until December 23. This means we spent 1.5 years all in this buying zone until we really saw an impulsive breakout upwards, and then also a pump, if we consider the middle here, of about 300%. And those were also the zones where I always said, wow, maybe sell. I remain here, and there I say with every altcoin, I don't believe we will see that massive altcoin rally again. The forecaster here was already a maximum of about $30 US. I stand by that. It would still be a lot of percent here if we take a quick look. If we moved this line downwards, we would be at 500%. I wouldn't bet on or insist that we will ever see this zone here again. That's why I stick to it. The next zone for me would be the 100% mark again. Should we see a 100% pump here, that would be around $11 or approximately $9 to $10. I would start selling the first tranches again. Why? Because the risk is too high. As long as we don't have a confirmed signal, or the interest rates in the USA are not lowered, or unless fresh money is really injected into the market, possibly by the Fed, without interest rate cuts, but simply by pumping capital into the market, it looks a bit different. But for now, I stick to it at most between 9 to $11 up here. That would also be the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level up to approximately meet the golden pocket. So I would keep a very close eye on these areas, because if we get rejected here again after such a rally, it doesn't look really good, and then we might even have to prepare for new lows. And I can imagine that in a potential bear market, which will eventually follow, I believe we are not yet in a bear market. For that, the support has still held for Bitcoin. But if we do find ourselves in a bear market, we said we will probably go significantly lower here, and the altcoins will really bleed. Otherwise, as I said, the forecast is a maximum of $30, but I'm currently keeping my distance from them as well. I wouldn't bet my ass, to put it really bluntly, that we will go there again. Let's see what happens. Otherwise, feel free to write your opinions in the comments. Also, if you have any other altcoin requests, feel free to write them in the comments below. Then I will go through one altcoin after another here. And otherwise, I would say that's it from my side. I definitely thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, join the Telegram group, and we'll hear from each other again tomorrow with a new update video. Until then, bye-bye, and as always, stay crazy.